internet possible. But is math an invention?
Math is the language in which we understand the universe.
Or a discovery? The Great Math Mystery on Nova.
Tonight at 8 on Arizona PBS.
On World War II megaweapons, Japan constructs a monstrous destroyer. The battleship Yamato outguns the Allies, but it's vulnerable to air attacks. The battleship Yamato on World War II megaweapons.
Tonight at 9 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
The easiest and best way to support Arizona PBS is by becoming a sustaining member. Your monthly contribution of $5 or more comes directly from your bank account or credit card, so you know your membership is always current. It also means no more renewal notices in your mailbox. So more of your dollars go to the programs you love. It's convenient for you, greener for us, and better for the planet. Become a sustaining member today.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World. Coming soon to Arizona PBS. When you want to be more informed, Arizona PBS delivers news and analysis with multiple perspectives, thanks to financial support from you and
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
Whether you need a complete upper and lower denture or a denture that is held in the mouth with implants, the denture experts strive to have a solution for you with their digital technology. Information and appointments at thedentureexperts.com or 480-275-62.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Right now, teachers are gathered at the state capitol to fight for higher pay and smaller class sizes. We'll take you into the Red for Ed rally.
Plus, a building once condemned for its toxic contents now serves as a center for veterans. How a new grant helped give this building a second chance.
And what does it take to become a naturalized U.S. citizen? We look into some of the problems immigrants are facing.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Adriana de Alba.
And I'm Troy Lynch. Thank you for joining us.
Arizona teachers and education advocates are holding another day of action across the state to highlight low teacher pay and school funding. The main Red for Ed event is going on now at the Arizona State Capitol. That's where Cronkite News reporter Gabriela Bacara joins us with the latest.
Hundreds are gathered here at the state capitol today. This event is being described as a teach-in. This event is organized behind three Save Our Schools is expected to announce action on school vouchers. Arizona Educators United will be calling for higher salaries for teachers and support staff, and the Arizona PTA is expected to promote strategies for better civic engagement to support public education. I spoke with 3 teachers who are demanding change in education and resources within their schools.
So we need to put our legislators and the governors on notice that if they're not going to listen to their constituents about funding education in Arizona, then we are going to do what we need to do and vote in November and get people that will do it.
Watch the revolving door. They're tired of seeing different teachers coming in and out of the room. They're tired of seeing their kids' favorite teachers leaving the profession and going on to something else.
I went into teaching thinking, I want to do what my teachers did for me. They gave me an opportunity to have a better life. I knew I wasn't going to get paid very much, but I figured, that's okay. I'm a young woman. I know I won't make much, but it's worth it because it's something that I'm passionate about, and I want to be able to be that teacher that I had when I was growing up.
This event is expected to run until about 7 p.m. tonight. The state capitol, Gabriela Becerra, Cronkite News.
One award-winning teacher from right here in Arizona says he's looking for other job opportunities due to concerns over low pay. Jeff Taylor received the 2014 Coconino Teacher of the Year recognition, but he announced in a letter he will be leaving Flagstaff High School at the end of the school year. He currently teaches AP Chemistry and Environmental Science. He says low pay, increased class sizes, and a concern for the quality of education his daughter's receiving have pushed his family to consider moving to Oregon or Washington, where he will likely receive higher pay.
The hundreds of thousands who filled Washington streets this weekend at the March for Our Lives said that they are the beginning of a movement for stronger gun control. But is it a movement or a moment? Adriana Bustos in our Washington bureau posed that question to advocates.
For marchers here Saturday, there is no doubt. The young people leading the march represent a new day in the gun debate.
Energized. I mean, I'm looking around and seeing these beautiful people. This is our future. The kids are our future.
Just touched by how many kids and young people are out here today.
But Patricia Maish, a survivor of the 2011's Tucson shooting that almost killed Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, says while she's proud of younger generations, she's not holding her breath for immediate change.
When they say, aren't these kids great, this is going to do it, I say, I'm hopeful, but I'm not going to be devastated if I'm disappointed that our legislators don't stand up and do the right thing.
The Giffords organization said Congress has not passed significant gun reform since the 1994 assault weapon ban. Since then, hundreds of laws have been passed at the state level, but no progress has been made in Washington. David Chipman, senior policy advisor for the Giffords organization, said he thinks this march might mean the difference.
I believe it is a tipping point, but I mean, it's even different than other recent events. I went to the Women's March, lots of people, but I'll have to be candid, I didn't leave that event certain what I needed to do.
Chipman said younger generations know what to do.
Different people are going to start getting elected that have different values and different concerns once they're held to account by these kids.
Maish says that change will take time, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Whatever they need, we have to give it to them to be able to convince our legislators that this is not a flash in the pan march. This is cooking the bacon.
Reporting from Washington, Adriana Bustos, Cronkite News.
If change does come, it won't be for at least another 2 weeks. Members of Congress left Washington for their Easter break the day before the march.
Permanent residents are eligible to become U.S. citizens after 5 years of living in the United States, but many of them put off that process. Now there's a new sense of urgency to become naturalized. We went to a ceremony here in Phoenix to find out why now and also what's creating a backup in the application process.
Welcome to United States citizenship.
The celebration echoed from floor to ceiling at the Sandra Day O'Connor U.S. Courthouse. During a recent naturalization ceremony in Phoenix, 79 candidates from 19 countries took the oath of allegiance, officially becoming citizens of this country, one of them coming from Rwanda.
Easy joy, and I have another benefit to be American is big things for me.
Another took this as a moment to honor her father.
My father, he was an immigrant. He made a hard job for me. It was so hard for him to become a resident.
They're among a wave of people formalizing their status in the country. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, reports a significant increase in applications for naturalization this past year.
Why? There really isn't an exact reason, depending on people's cultures. You know, a lot of people will file as soon as they are eligible. Do we tend to see an increase when there's a presidential election? Of course we do.
Nationwide, USCIS saw a jump in citizenship applications during the 2017 fiscal year first half, with an increase of almost 50,000. The high volume of applications has caused a slowdown in processing times.
We were at roughly 6 months at one time, possibly 5, We are now roughly at 10 months.
We're kind of seeing this kind of burst of the people trying to become citizens because they're afraid. They're afraid of what can happen, and now they want to have a say.
Immigration attorney Salvador Macias has experienced the wave firsthand, and he thinks politics may have a lot to do with it.
I do think Trump's presidency has obviously a lot to do with the rise in citizenship applications, and you know, that is, I guess you could say, a positive of his presidency, but it's because of fear.
USCIS tells us they're going to begin conducting secondary interviews on applicants. In the past, the process has only required one. They'll be hiring more staff to try and alleviate this backlog while also carrying out extra security checks.
When the Department of Homeland Security announced its plans to speed up the construction of a border wall in southern New Mexico, opposition came from two fronts for very different reasons. Noelle Lilly traveled to New Mexico to bring us the story.
The news came in late January that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security planned to build a border wall in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. To do this, the department said it would waive more than 20 environmental laws, including the Endangered Species Act and the Clean Water Acts. One environmentalist group in Arizona called this decision a humanitarian and environmental disaster.
What the administration is proposing is to build an 18-foot solid wall that would essentially stop species in their tracks.
Lakin Jordal recently visited the area where the wall is expected to be built. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen wrote in a statement that the Santa Teresa area was, quote, an area of high illegal entry. Jordal says otherwise.
In order to justify the waiver of law, they argued that this was a high priority area of high cross-border activity. From my impression, there was very little traffic. I've spent a lot of time in the Arizona borderlands, and typically you see discarded water bottles, food wrappers, layup sites. Generally, areas of high border activity are riddled with clues to that activity. And I didn't see anything like that in this area in New Mexico.
During our visit to the area, only a few people were seen crossing the border. The new wall is expected to be built in the Chihuahuan Desert, which borders Mexico, New Mexico, and Texas. The New Mexico Land Office also opposes the border wall, but for reasons of their own. Last month, State Land Commissioner Aubrey Dunn posted no trespassing signs along the border to keep Border Patrol agents away.
They need to get a right-of-way from us to build or to have the wall there, or to build a new wall or extend it or whatever, for both the wall and the roads and for the activities they do on it.
Dunn says that the federal government must pay New Mexico to access this land, and that this issue is important because that money would go toward New Mexico school children.
The beneficiary down on the border is actually the public schools of New Mexico. Okay. And so whatever money we get from this easement with the federal government would go actually to schools or teachers.
Dunn does not oppose the wall, but he wants the federal government to pay for it first. But Lakin says this is only the beginning.
So this is just the first phase of Trump's project to build the wall. It's very clear that if he's granted funding through Congress, this project will be duplicated across the borderlands in Texas, in California, in Arizona.
The Department of Homeland Security declined an interview, and in an email to Cronkite News, Southwest Border Chief Carlos Diaz emphasized that the Santa Teresa project was, quote, a replacement project, basically upgrading the current wall. In New Mexico, Noelle Lilly, Cronkite News.
DHS sent a response back to Commissioner Dunn after his blockage of the border, stating that the department values its relationship with New Mexico and plans to meet with the commissioner in April.
The city of Glendale may host the Super Bowl for the 4th time.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how the city is preparing for a potential bid for Super Bowl 57.
Also, how the city of Chandler is training their firefighters to better help behavioral and mental health.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland, in Washington, in Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Congressman Andy Biggs hosted a press conference today to discuss a new bill that would correct a loophole in the Amber Alert program. The original Amber Alert bill did not provide for the program's use on tribal lands. The revised Ashland Mike Amber Alert and Indian County Act includes over 500 federally recognized tribes as partners in the Amber Alert system.
The Arizona House approved a bill today that allows a parent to use embryos created during a marriage, even after a divorce. Today's action sends the bill to Governor Doug Ducey's desk. Senator Nancy Barto pushed the proposal to help a woman who was denied use of her 7 embryos by a court because her ex-husband no longer wanted children. The court ordered that the embryos be donated because of a contract the couple previously signed. Barto said she hopes an appeals court will grant her access to them if the bill becomes law.
Firefighters in the city of Chandler are being told to peel back a few more layers when it comes to asking questions to patients. Reporter Nicole Gutierrez tells us how one grant is helping the city's fire department recognize behavioral mental health calls.
Firefighters are often the first ones to give service to the public in emergencies. They also help in hazardous situations and, of course, fight fire. But the Chandler Fire Department says they receive more medical calls than any other call.
In the state of Arizona, less than 10% of the 911 calls that go to the fire departments are actually for fires.
Firefighter in the city of Chandler will now go through 4 hours of behavioral health training.
There was times when we got back into our engine, talked about the call, and just didn't feel like we were really advocating for the patient properly. We have realized that there are some somewhat flaws to the system as to how do we navigate behavioral health patients to the proper place and not an emergency room.
The Chandler Fire Department was given a $125,000 grant from the Vitalist Health Foundation in hopes of creating crisis support training to help firefighters communicate better with patients.
So there was a real disconnect with the training requirements for paramedics and what they're actually seeing in the field.
The 4-hour training will be used to better recognize the type of help a patient may need.
To make sure that our firefighters could at least recognize when they were dealing with someone that was in a mental crisis or a behavioral health crisis, and differentiate between someone that had a substance abuse issue or a mental health issue.
Blas Miner, the public information officer for the department, says the training will help de-escalate future emergencies and put patients on the right path.
And if we could just answer that question, and be able to navigate them in the right direction, I think we've done our job with the 4-hour training.
In Chandler, Nicole Gutierrez, Cronkite News.
The Chandler Fire Department says the behavioral health and crisis training could soon be available for other departments to use as well, not just here in Arizona, but across the country.
The Glendale City Council heard a measure to fully support the Arizona Super Bowl Host Committee's bid to host Super Bowl 57 in 2023. The last time the Super Bowl was hosted in Arizona was in 2015. The event brought in an estimated $720 million to Arizona's economy. That's according to an analysis from ASU's W.P. Carey School of Business. The selection process is focused on identifying the optimal destination for the Super Bowl instead of a process where multiple cities invest significant time and energy on a bid process. Arizona hosted the big event in 1996 and 2008.
A building once home to asbestos and toxins is now home to a Veterans Affairs Center.
Coming up on Cronkite News, we look at how one grant will help buildings like this one be restored to their former glory.
With spring underway, temperatures are heating up. More weather after the break.
I'm Ted Simons, host and managing editor of Arizona Horizon. Join us each weekday at 5:30 and 10 as we bring you the top newsmakers who impact the state. We cover the stories in depth that shape and affect our local communities, and we take the time to ensure that all voices are equally heard. For more than 30 years, Arizona Horizon has been your voice and your source for what matters most, right here on Arizona PBS.
Fridays, it's at Cronkite News, your social sharing connection where you choose the news. Facebook likes and shares, tweets, retweets, and favorites. YouTube views and subscriptions. We're watching you watch us. From our digital home at cronkitenews.azpbs.org to your television, web browser, or mobile device. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Then join us for at Cronkite News, our weekly refresh, each Friday at 5 on Arizona PBS.
President Donald Trump fired Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin today after an ethics scandal. Trump tweeted that he intends to nominate, quote, highly respected Admiral Ronnie L. Jackson as the new Secretary of Veteran Affairs. Trump says Robert Wilkie, an undersecretary at the Defense Department, will serve as acting VA secretary until Jackson is confirmed. Trump says he is thankful for Shulkin's service to our country.
The city of Kingman is repurposing an old city building into a new veterans center. The effort is part of a series of grants to help communities across the state clean up abandoned buildings and contaminated land. Reporter Nicole Hernandez has the details.
The Environmental Protection Agency provides millions of dollars to states across the U.S. to clean up properties. In Kingman, local officials are using the Brownfields grant to help hundreds of homeless veterans get off the streets.
We're taking a facility that still has a lot of life left in it. So instead of tearing it down, we're going to use it, we're going to restore it to its former glory.
The city of Kingman used to operate the building built in 1963. But when city officials found new offices, they could not sell the Oak Street structure because of asbestos contamination.
As part of our agreement with the county to purchase the building, the hazmat had to be abated before that. So we worked with the county and with the ADEQ to get that accomplished.
Just a few years ago, this building was not healthy enough for public use, but now people can walk through these doors without fear of asbestos or mold. This is made possible by a grant distributed by the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, making lands that are potentially dangerous usable for communities across the state of Arizona.
That has not only the environmental impact of the contamination being spread by vagrancy, but also the economic impact by having the downtowns appear unused.
The Kingman project received about $200,000, but the state can give out up to $1 million annually. Farrell and the Veterans Council said they're thankful for the grant.
And the grant has made that difference. It allowed us to open the door to returning this building to its former glory.
The center will begin providing services to veterans by the beginning of July. Other grant-funded projects include an abandoned building demolition in Gila Bend and historic preservation efforts in Duncan. In the broadcast center, Nicole Hernandez, Cronkite News.
A small Navajo-owned company has been awarded a contract worth nearly $920,000 to clean up uranium on the reservation. Clausen Excavating Incorporated will upgrade a road in Cove, Arizona that leads to 32 former mining sites. The improvements include modifying the road slope, stabilizing the surface, and controlling erosion. Testing has revealed high concentrations of uranium in the soil and groundwater. The work is expected to take 60 days.
Arizona's snowpack isn't where it should be. That's the finding of a federal study from the Natural Resources Conservation Service. The statewide snowpack is well below normal at just 28% of the average amount. That's the driest on record in 105 years. SRP reservoir levels are 61% full. They plan 11 years ahead for water supply. When the snow melts in the high country, it runs down to the Salt and Verde rivers, and that water is used in the valley. But since there is less than half of snow runoff flowing to the reservoirs, SRP will resort to using groundwater for the time being.
So, Atlin, I heard Easter weekend is supposed to be on the warmer side this year.
Oh, things are about to get hot, Troy. Now, let's get a look at those current temperatures going on across the state. Oh, well, let's actually take a look at the valley temperatures going on right now. Those are going to be tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be 79 degrees in Fountain Hills. As we move west, it's going towards Buckeye. And if you're going to the D-backs opening game tomorrow, that's right, baseball is back. It's going to be 80 degrees. Tomorrow it's going to be at 7:10 against the Rockies. Clear skies for that. As we head into the weekend, look at that, 80-degree highs and sunny skies. Easter, though, some clouds are going to bless us, blocking out the sun, getting some cooler temperatures, but the 90s are upon us. Look at that, right there, 92-degree high next Wednesday. That's the hottest we've seen in a long time now. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Atlin Hazzard.
Stress is no stranger to college students this time of year.
So ASU is offering a different way to relax. How students de-stress with furry friends while bringing awareness to the puppy cause. That's next on Cronkite News.
Cronkite News, weeknights at 5 on Arizona PBS.
By the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Before Professor Halden, I had an insane amount of passion, but I almost felt helpless because I didn't know how to use it. Professor Halden gave me a chance to make a difference. Being at a place like ASU allows you to take these big leaps. Ultimately, the biggest problems in the world cannot be solved alone.
Third Rail with Ozzy, the new weekly show where we tackle the taboo and debate the tough questions with some of the most interesting minds in the game. I'm Carlos Watson, electrifying conversation, Friday, only on PBS.
For students at ASU who may be battling the Wednesday woes, Puppies in the Park aims to pep up students during that midweek slump.
Reporter Kate Garner talked to those getting a little fuzz therapy.
This morning, Phoenix Civic Space Park had some new guests. 2 furry friends came to help ASU students de-stress.
So I only got to go to my own section.
So I host events like this for student morale and resilience, just ways to energize students and decrease their stress. So what's better for that than puppies, you know?
Center for Mindfulness, Compassion, and Resilience partnered up with Arizona Humane Society to get the dogs out to the park and host similar events for students throughout the school year.
I think it's excellent because it's just watch your earrings.
The puppies didn't stay in their pen for long as students showed up to cuddle the 11-week-old Kubo and Bear.
Puppies are just cute, and like playing with them really just helps, you know, calm you down, and you know, you just see the good things in life and just the cuteness of puppies.
Just feel the oxytocin, dude.
The event not only helped students relax, but promoted public awareness for the Arizona Humane Society. In Phoenix, Kate Garner, Cronkite News.
Center for Mindfulness, Compassion, and Resilience holds events at the Phoenix Civic Space Park regularly.
The Arizona Humane Society will be putting Bear and Kubo up for adoption in the next few weeks. Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we speak with legislative leaders about another planned teachers rally at the state capitol. And we'll hear from a Pulitzer Prize-winning writer who specializes in U.S. civil rights history.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, antibiotic use spikes worldwide, causing alarm among public health experts. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from...
I'm David Goldstein, owner of Biltmore Loan and Jewelry. We buy or loan on upscale assets. We have over 30 years of experience in determining values of automobiles, jewelry, art, collectibles, and antiques. For more information and appointments, BiltmoreLoan.com.
Does this look like an animal that can change the